Well, I was a commuter. I worked for a small accounting firm at the time. I was working probably starting my sophomore year, 25 to 30 hours a week in the accounting firm. So I'd come up to Seton Hall and I'd go back. I think it taught me time management. I think it taught me a sense of responsibility. Okay, you're going to go out there, you're going to get a good college degree from a great university, but you also have responsibilities outside the university. So it really taught me to work hard and be organized. When I do get a chance to talk to different students in different schools, I tell them that if you're not sure about your major, accounting is a perfect major because you're always going to need it in your business. Whether you open up a software company or whether you open up a salon or whether you open up a laundromat, okay, there's always the accounting side of things. You got to know what your business is about. You don't want your accountant to know more about your business than you do. So having the accounting background in any type of business to me is very, very important. I actually moved to Nutley when I was about 9 years old. And I think what instilled in me was respect for other people. It was a sense of belonging, a sense of community. No matter where you come from or no matter what town you've been in, if you just reach out and help people, it just comes back tenfold. It actually started through myself and actually two other close friends and business friends, Dan Geltrude, who's a CPA, and Jim Pyro, who's an attorney. And the three of us got together, he approached us, and we talked about the fact that there were so many banks that kept being acquired, that there wasn't that small sense of a bank where you could walk in, see the same person, not have to call an 800 number. So what happened was we talked to a consultant out of Princeton. We had him do a survey of Nutley itself, and we were shocked by the number of deposits, the amount of deposit monies that were in this little town. I told him 9 banks in Nutley, and there were 9 banks. His answer to me was, there aren't 9 banks in Nutley, there are 9 branches in Nutley. You will be the only bank headquartered in Nutley where the president of the bank will be sitting in the bank and the board of directors will be at the bank. So with that in mind, the three of us got together and we reached out to friends and family and business acquaintances, and we raised the money totally on our own. So we raised a little over $6 million back in 1999. If you look at entrepreneurial studies, the initial decision or the initial thought is very important. But that second layer, who do you bring in next and what do you have them do is so critical. We brought in our founders group. And our founders group contributed $50,000 per person to buy stock in the bank. We actually put a plaque, which I kind of stole from another bank. I saw how they did it. And they put a founders group plaque up there. We didn't even have our names up as board of directors. We had a founders group, and we had their names on it. And I can't tell you the number of times somebody would walk in, and one time I happened to be in the bank, and a grandfather walked in with his little grandson, held him by the hand, walked over to the plaque and said, "See, I told you Grandpa owns this bank." And what it did was, you knew if they invested the money, they were going to move their accounts there. They were going to move their friends' accounts, their family accounts. So we grew rather quickly. In fact, if I recall exactly, I think we turned a profit in the 22nd month. Entrepreneurs tend to think, or if you don't know that much about an entrepreneur, you tend to think it's a one person working behind a closed door by himself or herself. And of course, that's not the case. You need to find a team. And how do you find a team? You find a team by networking. When you tend to network, I think what happens is that people let their guard down a little bit, meaning that they tend to relax a little bit more. They tell you more about themselves. It's amazing how many people you find can bring something to your business that you cannot bring. And by networking, I think you get to see people as they really are, not in an interview. When you're in a business by yourself, the major decision comes through you at the end of the day. So I think the biggest challenge is making sure that when you make the decision, you have all the information that's available to you from the people you trust, make the decision with conviction, and just go on with it. Keep your eyes open to everybody around you. Keep your ears open, listen, and try and put yourself in an environment where you're not always the best one in the group. If you're in with people who are a little bit better than you or a little bit more proficient, let's say, it tends to raise your bar up a little bit. Don't be afraid to ask questions. A lot of people out there like to have people ask them for advice, and it's okay. I probably had a few people through my life that I picked up different things from. Because remember, your personality is your personality. And I find sometimes that if people say, I want to be an entrepreneur, I want that person, he or she, as my mentor because I want to do exactly what they did, that's not going to work. Entrepreneurs are not like other people. If you're like somebody else exactly, you probably will fail as an entrepreneur because then you might as well just go work for that person or have that person work for you. My biggest inspirations are my mom and my dad. Mom and dad grew up in a whole different time and different society at that time. Neither one of them were able to finish high school at the time because they had to go out and work for the parents and for the household. They didn't have the benefits that we do nowadays. So if you're out of work, you basically did not get paid. I remember no matter what I did, my father and mother would always say, first of all, are you doing okay? Are you doing okay? They still, to this day, still worry about my business and what I do. And I said that to my dad not too long ago. I said, you don't have to worry about me anymore. I'm fine. He'll be 90 years old at the time of this viewing. He'll turn 90 on September 10th. My mom always hates when I tell her age, but she will be 84 tomorrow on September 23rd. So I'm very, very proud of them. And I think the aspect that mom and dad taught me was to care for everyone. Care about your children, care about the people who maybe can't help themselves. If you treat people the right way, then you will be successful. If somebody meets you, whether it be personal or business, and walks away feeling a little bit better, then that's the success story. And I was fortunate enough in my family, my wife, Donna, and my 3 children, that's been instilled upon them. And I think the passion and the feeling you have towards family kind of flows into business without you even realizing it. It's something that cannot be, it cannot be taught necessarily inside the university walls, but it can be taught by being around the right people and dealing with the right people and treating the right people the right way.